Peace for all. Blessed the name of Jesus. Blessed is the name of Jesus. Save your soul, people. Save the innocent in the future. So, here I come with some interesting new idea. It's a self-resonating LC high and low switching tacting tick-tack resonance circuit. It's a high frequency self-resonance LC reactive energy pumping stuff. Earth current pump effect also is in that topology, and I try to explain it to you how it works. Okay, so basically we have 1, 2, 3, 4 coils on the main ferrite ring, and the high and low switching MOSFETs. For the first impulse, so to be able to begin the whole self-resonance cycle, we give 50 volts or 100 volts input to the higher point of the main trigger coil, okay, that is more 100 turns, 1, 2, 300 turns, whatever. It's a high ratio, but not too much, at least 100 turns. Okay, the primary is basically about 10 turns, 20 turns, 30 turns, depends. So 1 to 10 ratio. Okay, let's say if the primary is 30 turns, then we have to make the main trigger, the biggest trigger, 300 turns. If this is 10 turns, it should be 100 turns. If this is 20 turns, then 200 turns. So 1 to 10 ratio, okay, to keep the resonance. And the trigger coils must be also rated to the main in the best performance. So basically we give a power supply, let's say 50 volt, to the higher part of the main coil, main trigger. Then this will be added to the earth. For the first time, let's think without the extra resonance cycle, modified René EMF. Let's say there is an earth current, okay? I don't draw it now, but let's say that is earth current. This side is basically a big negative potential, okay? Negative potential. That's really important, because without the earth current, that resonance will never start, never ever. Maybe, but not so sure. If you ground this circuit, the main trigger coil, the more 100 turns, the lower side, if you ground, it will start for 111% sure chance. So 50 volt shoot through the main trigger coil into the earth current. There we come. The power circulating begins, and here it comes, the resonance, the energy in the trigger coils for the high and low side switching MOSFET. So basically the MOSFET gate source triggering coils, now they are driving the MOSFETs. You can use two methods. First, tacting, so changing tact, high side, low side, high side, low side, or you can drive them together also in the same time. Tack, tack, tack. Okay, so switching them in the same time or changing time. You can try which is the best for you or for the circuit. So first of all, we give a power supply to the higher point of the main trigger coil, the few hundred turns. Then we ground the other side, the lower side, so then begins the earth pumping effect. Like that, we are energizing the trigger coils, we open the MOSFET, and then begins the main resonance. The main resonance is coming, and that's important because that will be the strongest power, reactive power in the system. So it will take over the main resonance frequency. Okay, so begins the main resonance, the strong reactive power circulating in the system. Then this higher powered resonance effect, the reactive energy opens, so takes over. This resonance frequency takes over the switching frequency also, so it will stabilizing itself. After that, the secondary will produce a real high amount of voltage, and that voltage you can set. That power which is caused by the high voltage, that amperage, you can set really precisely with that René EMP charger topology, slightly modified by me. Okay, basically this is an NPN switching transistor, high voltage switching transistor, highly effective. And it means as in this transistor, otherwise there is already a body diode, if I know it good. So we have a base resistor. This is a Reactive topology, a Reactive stuff, but in René mode. It means instead of coming directly the positive power, input power, as normally at the Reactive ring, the Joule ringer, we have a so-called load, so an impedance in between, the positive power supply and the positive input of the Reactive, the self-resonance, also self-resonance, self-triggering system. So it's not shooting through directly to the Earth's ground, but this is a double resonance and a triple resonance. You have to not calculate, but you have to play with it really precisely. So it's a Reactive self-resonance. You can image yourself as the power supply would be here, for example, a small battery, as normally in a LED driver, for example, a LED driver Reactive. If you know that Reactive configuration, you must know, because without that concept in your mind, it will never stay, never capito. It's a self-triggering, self-resonance cycle. Zener diode, pull-down resistor, for sure, maybe 2 volt or 3 volt Zener diode about, and about a few kilo ohms of resistor pull down, and that should be maybe 100 kilo ohm, and there also just a few nanofarad to ensuring the closing part better. May you can use a Schottky diode with a negative polarity. So let's say this is 2 resonance cycles, and the third is the main resonance. Okay, yeah, this is it. So with that potentiometer you can set the basic basically the trigger coil's amperage. Okay, for the very first time you need that shooting power through the main trigger coil, because that is starting the whole triggering of the MOSFET and the main resonance energy, reactive power. This is it. Sorry for my English is not the best, but I hope you understood it, capito, really well. It's basically really easy. Self-resonance stuff, and the main thing, the winner idea, that this is high side switching. So it means when the primary resonance, the main reactive power, begins give us a really nice sine wave, really high amount of energy, that energy is pumping back to the power supply, and that is the goal. That is the winner. That is the winner. That you can catch the reactive energy directly and pumping back to the power supply. Okay? So this is a slightly modified laser saber, Joule ringer, and again a slightly modified René EMF charger. Okay, you can find this topology in the internet. That is no problem. But I mean, you already know it. It's a 12 years old idea from René, and Germanian electro engineer, free energy researcher. Half black, so I mean his father was black. Yeah, so Germanian but color. Fantastic. He had a real fantastic idea. Normally in his circuit here comes as usually a Schottky diode as in a normal Joule TIF. Yeah. So this is it, and I hope you can get it. This reactive energy self-resonant power system does not use any SMPS switch mode power supply controller IC integrated circuit, but only 3 transistors and a few coils and capacitors, and this is it. It's a living system, and must mention it that this is also failure safe, because there are 2 MOSFETs in series, so there is no way that they are dying, they will dying at the same time, first of all, and otherwise if the resonance is dying for any reason, then they will never stay opened. Then the pull down resistor just pulls down the gate source voltage, and they are not anymore opened, and it's failure safe. there is also the lower side. But even if this NPN transistor dies and it means as a so-called short, then even then this is an earth ground. It's not even connected to the negative of the input power supply, battery or whatever. Okay, understood? So this is not connected to the negative of the power supply. It's really important. It's independent. It's a field generated reactive power and earth ground pumping system. Peace for all and honor of Jesus. Save your soul. Save your soul. Peace.